Hello and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are looking to substantially increase your caseload in the next 6 months, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today is Meet the Attorney. As I said last week, I was promising you a Meet the Attorney episode, and we are here with one of the greatest attorneys in the U.S. I'm can't wait for you to meet her. She's rocking and rolling. She's doing a lot of special things for small businesses out there, and I can't wait to get into the conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the great Nalini Mahadevan. How you doing, Nalini?
I'm doing great, Frank. Thank you so much for that thumping introduction. I cannot recognize myself.
Oh, surely you can. Everything I said there was authentic and true based on the research I've done about you, your firm, and how you help people. And so I wanted to, at least showcase it to the audience.
Thank you.
I said a few things about you in the pre-intro, but in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
So we are a woman-owned, women-run law firm, and we are in 3 locations. St. Louis is our headquarters. We have another office in Chicago, one more in Atlanta. We are soon to be opening an office in Savannah, which is in the works. And then we are going to get licensed in New York. So we are expanding. Pandemic was our best time. And, and you said there are other lawyers and other business owners on this podcast. And as a business owner and a lawyer, I wear both hats. And I can tell you that is a super exciting place to be in.
Oh, awesome. So how long have you been with your law firm?
We've been in business for the last 20 years. So since 2003.
2003. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we're coming on 20th year, September 17th.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, so, we're going to be diving in a lot of different things. The topic of this episode is 5 must-knows about estate planning. But if there's anything that you feel that the audience is going to benefit from outside of that, feel free to dive in. But, might as well get right into the topic. And what are the 5 must-knows about estate planning? Since that's your main practice area, right? Estate planning, elder law, etc. Correct?
So, yes. So our main practice areas are estate planning and immigration. So since we are talking about estate planning today, let's talk about estate planning. That's how, and everybody asks me, how did I get into that combination? So let me tell you right off the bat how I did. I immigrated to this country as a student and stayed on here. And so I always had that immigrant lens. So the immigration law was a natural fit. And of course, all my friends, the moment I put up my shingle, I had so many friends saying, oh my God, I have kids. I wanted to do a will and trust. Will you do that for us? And that's how I got into estate planning. And I just love both those areas of practice because I see light bulb moments going off in people's heads. The other day I had somebody from rural Missouri come to us. They had 124 acres of farmland. And as we were going through all the deeds, of course, none of these things are well organized, right? So, you go through all the deeds and then we look at something and say, oh my God, this is still in your grandparents' names. Why is it still through the probate process to bring it into her name and therefore she can pass it on to her child? So estate planning basically says, give peace of mind, not unto yourself because you have made sure that the next generation or your spouse is taken care of. But secondly, that your next generation and spouse are not having to scramble around trying to figure things out, what you own, going to court and doing all those things because you haven't planned properly. So estate planning is a planning process. So you plan while you are alive using certain documents to make sure that your beneficiaries, that's the people who are going to inherit from you, get what they deserve, get what they need to have.
Right. It's funny, like there's no secret that during the pandemic is the busiest time. I think I've got a couple of other estate planning clients that we work with, and they said the same thing. It was because people were thinking about it. Like,
yes,
when adversity happens, people start thinking about the future. But when everything is singing along, no one's really thinking about it. So it's interesting.
Yeah. A majority of our clients have had their parents pass away, and they were kind of trying to figure out what their parents owned. That's when we come in and help them. And then they turned around to us and said, oh my God, I don't want to have this. Please help us through the next thing. So that's where a lot of stuff happens. But don't forget, we are pretty close to the school year. This is the start of college season. And guess what? When your child turns 18 and they're going off to college, there are two things that the parent will never see: their transcripts and the health records. Once a child is 18, the healthcare institutions and the colleges will stop giving you their grades, will stop sharing the healthcare information with you unless you have a power of attorney. So rule number one, make an estate plan, have a plan for your next generation. Rule number two, have a power of attorney, not only for yourself, but also for your children, for two things. One for healthcare, another one for finances. Hey, people in our office are sending kids off to college. One of our business development manager's daughter's going off to Australia to study. So I'm like, so we are busy doing, stuff for her as well, so that she can actually, the parents can still access health records, because, God forbid, your child falls sick, has meningitis, any of those things. You want to be involved in your child's care. And secondly, my God, you're paying for that child's tuition. Shouldn't you know what grades they are getting?
100%.
Fundamentally, I'm a parent who sent my children through college. I can tell you, I wanted to know they were not partying. I just want to know that, right?
But that's a dying breed, though. Not to get off topic, but that's a dying breed. I think today's parents are less aware of it. It's more of I don't know. Another topic for another day.
You mean they're not helicopter parents? I thought that helicopter thing just went with the child, kind of.
It's gone. The helicopter parent idea. I'm just noticing it from people I've talked to of the younger generation. I'm noticing that because I know when I was in college, they were worried about, hey, how's it going? Let me see what are you doing? Because they were paying for it.
Exactly.
I don't see it as much anymore. I don't know why. Okay. Weird. I guess we should open up a practice of parenting, but that's another topic.
Oh, yes. That is a whole nother topic by itself. Yeah.
Awesome.
So the other thing I see also is, people come to our office and we're sitting and chatting with them. And this is the very first time people have actually talked about their finances. People have not talked about, especially, when people don't have children and they have extended family, they have brothers, sisters, whom should they leave the money to? This is not something people have talked about. When they have children, it's somewhat clearer. You want to make sure your child has an education, make sure, if their health care that is taken care of, whether they're getting married or they're going to get a car, all those things, it's natural for you to think of. It's more not as natural to have that conversation when you have a blended family, or you don't have children and you're leaving it to extended family, or you're leaving it to a charitable institution. So rule number 3, think about whom you're going to leave your money to.
Okay. That's important. I shared this story with someone not too long ago that I want to share with you since we're talking about estate planning. When I was working in corporate before I started my business, I used to do a lot of traveling. Back then I lived in Washington, D.C. I'm now in New Jersey, but I was going to California a lot of times. And on one particular trip, I think I was going to San Francisco, if I recall, that trip from hell, because that's what it was.
Oh dear.
It had a lot of complications with that airplane. Even to the point where the masks came down.
Oh, wow.
And for landing, we had to assume the position of having the head down and all that kind of stuff. And I remember thinking, so let me back up. That company used to have a deal with an estate planning firm where you can get a free will done. And if you wanted anything extra, you just had to pay extra. But the company paid this new thing. I never took advantage of this, right? So when that happened, the first thing I did when I got back was I called that firm and said, "Hey, can I set up a will with you?" That was one of the biggest scares of my life.
So that brings us to rule number 4. You told me 5 things, right? I'm not going to talk about the rule number 4. A will is not enough. You need a trust. And you please don't tell me, oh, I don't have enough money. It's only for wealthy people. The trust is only for wealthy people. No. Because you know what if you just have a will, what happens? So the will just says, hey, I'm going to appoint guardians for my children who are under the age of 18. And the other thing the will says, I've got all this stuff. Please pass these on to my children or whoever you're giving it to. Because a spouse in general, you don't have to worry about so much. Hopefully, everything is held jointly. Then you may not have to worry. If things are held singly in only one person's name, you have to go to court. What you're trying to avoid with estate planning is going to court. And the only way you can not go to court is to do a trust. So what you do is I always famously talk about my clients about, having a little cup like this. I know you cannot see me on radio, but I'm holding up a cup and it has lots and lots of pens in it. And then the pens are the stuff that you own. You put the pens in the cup. Can you hear that? And that is how you plan. Because remember, pens in the cup. The cup is a trust. The pens are the stuff you own. So put the pens in the cup so that somebody can take charge of this trust, this cup, and then take the pens out as needed.
Even if it's just $500.
Even if it's just $500.
Got it. Because, one of my questions you just answered it, but my next question was going to be, do you feel that anybody should do an estate plan, or is it just for the wealthy? So you just answered that.
No, it's not for the wealthy. If you have kids, if you have a house, if you have stuff that has a title on it, so you may be renting, but guess what? You have toys. You have the 4-wheeler, you have the outboard motor, you have a motor home, you have, a car, you have bank accounts. They all have titles. You can't, this is the United States of America. You don't give something to somebody without them having their name on something that says, hey, I can have this, right?
You're right.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, even the junkyard won't take your car if you don't have a title that says, I can pass this title on to somebody else. I can pass it on to the junkyard. You can't even junk your car.
That's
Salvation
true.
Army won't come and pick up your car.
That's funny. I never thought about that, but that's true. Yeah.
Because I mean, all of us have junk that we don't need, but unfortunately, this is the outboard motor. You have 5 outboard motors in your yard, and you don't know what to do with them. You pass away. Whoever's getting them, they can't even junk those outboard motors. We've had situations like that.
Interesting.
So yes, and it's really not those motors had no value, but you still had to go spend a gazillion bucks to go to court to change the title to transfer it to somebody else.
Yeah. Wow. We're getting an education here today, guys. Out of curiosity, which is number 5?
Oh, number five. Number five. I think we'll come to that a little later as we go along in our conversation. Let
So
it be the mystery.
You want to keep us
Guessing. Yes. Because I want to come up with a nice story that'll be interesting to everybody. Everybody, I can mouth off stuff that is,
Okay.
I mean, I can come out like the 10 Commandments, right? Who cares about, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, if you're preachy to me, I don't want to be preachy. That's kind of like boring.
Awesome. I love the energy that you have. I love the energy. I can see that you have passion for this. Yes. And that's why I like to have people on the show, because every attorney that I have on the show always has some sort of a passion, and I love your passion. So you're no different. So let's since you want to keep that a mystery, I'm gonna bounce out of estate planning, but I'm gonna come back into it. So as you unveil number 5, but let me ask you this: since you have 2 main practice areas, which is estate planning and immigration, which is your passion? Which one you're mostly passionate about?
Oh, God, I hate to say it. I can't choose because I'm both. I'm really both. I'm of the generation that needs the estate planning. And we do. I mean, start thinking about estate planning when you're 30. Please don't think about it when you're 65 and ready to retire. Think about it when you're 30, because at 30, you have different tax issues going on. So estate planning is really about taxes. I mean, if people don't tell you that, that's what it's about. The federal government has a great say in which how much income tax you pay and how much federal estate tax you pay. There are some states like Illinois where the state exemption for estate planning is $4 million. Remember, right now, exemptions for federal is still over 12.6 million per person. So you have to be super, super rich to worry about the federal estate tax. But there are states like New York and Illinois that still have state estate tax. That means if you own something over 4 million, and you can easily go over the limit, I mean, you have insurance. Suppose you're in we get a lot of corporate professionals, and a lot of them, their companies provide them insurance, and that insurance can be over 2-3 million. And there's your estate. You have a house that is worth $1 million in these areas, and then your insurance is about $2 million, and then you have other retirement. There goes the $4 million. It's done. And then you owe estate taxes. You need to plan. That's for wealthy people. But if you're not wealthy, you still need to worry. Because there are 2 levels of worry. One level is, how do I pass my stuff along? Second level of worry is, how am I going to provide for the taxes?
So out of curiosity, you used the word that I want to get it defined. Wealthy. What is wealthy? When does the government say, oh, this is a wealthy individual?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying today's content. While I have you on here, I want to introduce you to a promo that we have going on for the spring of 2024 for all legal practices throughout the U.S. I have an outstanding offer that we've never been able to offer before, but we want to do it because you have been an avid listener. We're only promoting this to people who listen to the show. So if you're an attorney and you are an avid listener to the show and you're thinking about possibly opening your own practice, you want to pay attention to this announcement. We are offering a full website with hosting, SSL certificate, online booking service, online appointment management, and more, and much, much more, with a 1-year maintenance, all for $2,250. That's $2,250 one-time fee, and you have a full-fledged website. If you want to know more about this, just give us a call at 888-416-7752 or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. Just make sure that you mentioned that you heard it on the show, and we'll definitely get you that discount. So with that, I'm going to bring you back to the content.
I don't know. Well, the government really doesn't define it. It's, places like Bloomberg and Other people that, like Forbes and, Fortune magazine, they're the ones, USA Today, they're the ones who tell us who's wealthy and who's not. And really now it's, I think, now that you look at it, I think it's the top 1% starts at what, 1 million?
Really?
And but if you start looking at people come and sit in front of me and tell me, I don't have anything. And then we add the insurance, and we add the house, and we add the retirement and the bank account, and there are two earning couple, boom, you're over you're over 1 million.
But you see, the thing is, the reason I ask that question is because I think wealth has to do with net worth. So if let's say you have a ton of stuff and you're making, $10 million, you're worth $10 million, but you owe 11 million. You're not wealthy.
If you now, that's a business owner. Their planning is different. They have two things. One is their business ownership, which hopefully they have created a separate entity. So all that they owe is in that business ownership. Okay. And their personal wealth is separate. We are talking about personal wealth.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, look, I'm in the St. Louis market, and the St. Louis market since the pandemic has gone gangbusters. And you can say that even in small towns, now we have digital nomads. I mean, companies are saying, come back to work, but people are saying, no, I'm not coming back to work. I mean, I have a son who says, Mom, I'm not going back to work. And there are lots of people of that generation, Gen Z, who don't want to go back to work. So you are talking about people working out of their houses. So people are buying houses, even if it's far away, they're buying the house, and real estate prices have gone through the roof.
It's been crazy.
You have paid $400,000 or $250,000 for a house is now pretty close to $500,000. And that's the house.
Yeah. Around where I live here in Jersey, there was this condo I was looking at. And I couldn't believe it. It was like a 2-bedroom condo. It was $650,000.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you can say why I say you could easily go over $1 million. I mean, you add in you have life insurance, you probably have term life insurance of $1 million or $500,000, depending on your age group. You pass away before the term life insurance ends, you have $500,000 plus your $650,000, you're over $1 million.
Crazy,
right?
How you think about that?
So that's why I'm saying, think about the money. Think about the money. Think about the money. Think about what you're really worth and be realistic about it. The other thing I get is, in my house furniture is worth $30,000, $40,000. Please, no, nobody wants to buy used furniture. You put that on Facebook Marketplace.
That's so funny. I'm having too much fun.
This is what we come across.
Yeah. So all right, so let's change gears again out of curiosity. As you know, this is a marketing show. How do you get the word out about your business? I mean, it's going to be 20 years coming up very soon here. As we're recording this anyway, maybe by the time this is coming out, it's already been 20 years for you. But so congratulations ahead of time.
Thank you.
But you've got to be doing something outstanding, got to be doing something right for you to have 3 offices, and you're going to grow a 4th one coming soon here. What's your secret?
I keep thinking about it. I think it's vision. You have to have vision, and you have to have a vision or a plan of where you want to be in 3 to 5 years. And you need to work towards that. So everything informs you today from that perspective. I mean, 5 years is, I feel, maybe too far down the road, but 3 years is close enough.
Right up the street.
And that's what I learned during the pandemic, that I could not think small. I had to think big. And I had to think bigger, because if you think, I'm going to grow my business by 10%, guess what? You'll only grow your business by 5%. But if you say you're going to grow your business by 50%, chances are that pretty close you'll come to like 30%.
25 to 30.
I mean, it takes, and you have to be very conscious. Marketing is a 24/7 effort.
100%.
It is not, I'm going to do it when my business is down, but you're going to do it when your business is up, when your business is medium, when your business is down, when your business is fantastic. You're going to do it all the time.
You got to keep doing it.
Yes.
So what have you been doing? Anything on the digital side? Have you been doing just, bootstrapping it with networking? Like, what's your secret? What have you been doing?
Everybody only talks about digital, but you need to do both. You need to meet in person, and you need to meet as well as digital. You can't get away from digital because 90% of people are on their phones nowadays. So variously, our digital footprint is, we have YouTube videos. We have a channel on YouTube for both sides of our practice, immigration and estate planning. We also have, we are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn, so I'm on LinkedIn all the time.
That's how you and I met.
Yes, correct. That's how we met on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I think you should choose like 2 digital channels. We are not on TikTok and Instagram. To be honest, I don't know. I love using it on a personal basis. I love the TikToks. Until the guy comes out at night and says, now you need to put it off. You've been too long on this. So I love doing TikTok, but I am not a big user of TikTok. I'm a lurker on both TikTok and Instagram. I love the fashion stuff on Instagram, but I like the house stuff.
You know something though? Sorry to cut you off. You just made a point that I want to share with the audience, because I have some people who are clients of mine who listen to me, et cetera. I want them to pinpoint or at least focus on a little bit of what you just said about TikTok. You probably don't market on TikTok.
No.
That's good. No problem. But what did you just say? You said you lurk on TikTok.
Yes.
So I get clients sometimes that says, oh, well, my clientele is not on TikTok. I say, I beg to differ.
Yes.
They're on TikTok.
Yeah, they're on TikTok. Yeah.
They're there. Yeah. Because it's such an engaging thing. It's such something that you can't stop looking at.
Yeah.
So market to them. Anyway.
Thank you, Frank. I will do that. The only thing is, what do I say? Because I don't have somebody like you making it fun for me to talk about what I do. What
you do is very fun. Look how much fun we're doing. What happened?
Okay. All right.
I learned so much about estate. You know how many estate planning interviews I've made? This is the thing that I've learned the most so far with this one.
Oh, thank you.
So you're very engaging.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that, because I want to tell people, don't be afraid. The fear is if you don't do something. And you ask me what the 5th thing is, that's it. The fear is not doing something, sitting on the sideline and saying somehow something will take care of itself. It won't.
That's true.
It's just like marketing your business. Think of it like that. You have to do something in order to produce a result. It's not going to happen by itself.
That's right. That's true. And people need to understand that it's not going to happen all by itself.
You're going to die. I'm sorry. So sorry. You're going to die and you're going to pay taxes.
You're going to pay taxes. Even after you're dead, you're paying taxes.
Yes.
It's called estate taxes.
Oh, God. Uncle Sam and, State of Sam are both coming for you, believe me.
Yeah.
They want their pound of flesh.
Is the truth.
And your job is to minimize that pound of flesh.
Yeah. You got to do the right things while you're above ground, because when you're below ground, it's going to be a nightmare for the people that you left above ground.
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your immigration policy. Like what's because I know you started out as that because you're an immigrant yourself. Like how does that whole thing work? Like people go to you for green card services? Like what is a little bit about that? Just to get off topic a little bit.
Sure. So we work with individuals and companies. So on the company side, we represent companies who want to bring employees on visas to work at the companies. For instance, let me talk about a typical situation. I talk a lot to groups like of employers who want to recruit students, international students from their local universities. And the wonderful thing about is that these people are motivated and they're pretty smart. They've come a long way from their country to study at a very expensive university. So guess what? They're super motivated to work. And a lot of them are in the tech fields because that's what it seems that's whom we attract. So the United States is fabulous. Our universities are just fabulous. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So we have a lot of international students. And these students can work at employers' businesses after they finish their academic studies on what is called optional practical training, for which the employer pays a wage but doesn't have to do any immigration services for them, doesn't have to sponsor them for the visa, nothing. Then, hey, I like this person. You know what? I have had people come to me, employees come to me and say, I like this person. How can I retain them? And that's where we come in. We help you retain those valuable employees. We file visas for them. And then once they are through the visa, we file for green cards for them. That actually green card is permanent residency, allows them to live in the and work in the United States. And please pay taxes, pay life insurance, property insurance, your pays towards Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all that, actually pay taxes. That's my big thing. So it's important for us, if we are as an economy, to encourage these people. Immigrants also start businesses, so we support them in that as well. So there are two kinds of support: to the company to keep their visa-based employees legally over here, to get them a green card, and then finally they all become U.S. citizens. Individuals, the same way, U.S. citizens who are marrying people from overseas, bringing their spouses here, or maybe they have children overseas, they bring their children here. We enable them family reunification, so to speak. So we generally work with those kinds of populations. We don't do any work at the border. Ours is mostly companies and individuals who already entered the United States legally, and we help them stay here legally. Basically, that's what we do.
And that being said, that's across the board. So you can do that even if you don't have even if your firm is in St. Louis, Chicago, whatever. You can do it for a company that's bringing somebody in California, let's say.
Oh, yeah. We have clients in California, New York, New Jersey, Florida. We have Illinois, Missouri. We have all those.
Awesome. So that's why I wanted to let the audience know that, this part of her practice, if you are, in a bind, if you will, and you're trying to bring, sponsor someone, a foreign student or a foreign employee or whatever, you want to help them out with their legal status in the U.S., look up Nalini. Nalini is your point of contact.
Thank you.
So talk to me about MLO Law. What does that stand for? That's the name of your company. What does that stand
for? Yes. Frank, my last name, it's a mouthful.
Mahadevan.
So early in my practice, I called our office first Mahadevan Law Office. That's the MLO. And then nobody could pronounce the Mahadevan. So I said, oh gosh, I mean, at some point I need to make this easier, even to answer the phone. I mean, it was so much easier to say MLO Law. And actually, that's how it started. Our receptionist would answer it MLO Law. So then we said, why am I doing that? I might as well incorporate that as our name. And so that's what we did.
Awesome. And what is the website if someone wants to reach out to you?
It's mlolaw.us.
Awesome sauce. I will put that link in the show notes, so that when people could reach out to you. We're connected on LinkedIn, so I'll put your LinkedIn on the show notes as well. So if people want to just give you an inbox and find out about your services, that will happen as well. But before I let you go, I have one last question for you. This has been great. Thanks for the 5, by the way, and the way we smoothed it in there, I think is legendary. I love it. It was such good synergy. But before I let you go, is there anything I did not ask you that you think will benefit the audience?
I think if you're in business, you're in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. So if you're starting out business, think about your finances. Market. It doesn't matter what sector you're in.
Yes.
Did we even know we needed it? We didn't. They sold us an idea and continue to sell us an idea. Mm-hmm. Services are an idea. Sell the idea. Address the pain point.
Oh, man. I love it. You're speaking my language. Yeah, speaking my language. Awesome.
Oh, gosh.
Well, this has been awesome, Nalini. Thanks for coming. Thanks for accepting my invitation. Took us a while to get it done, but we got it done. And I'm so glad we did get it done because I think this is something that's really going to benefit a lot of people here. So without further ado, I'm going to put an end to this episode. Until next week, this has been Frank Deming, the local business guy, and you've just been blessed by the great Nalini Mahadevan. Take care,
Thanks, Frank.
Take care. Take care, and bye for now.
Bye. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you would like to know more about the topic we discussed on the show today, reach out to Frank and his team at 888-416-7752 and schedule a discovery call with one of the marketing consultants. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to podcast@lbmsllc.com and we will put you on the schedule. With that being said, until next week, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.